to That's Life with John Carver. This is episode number 275. And I'm calling this episode, It's Okay to Change Your Mind. Again, it's okay to change your mind. I grew up in the 1970s and 1980s, and during that time, we were at what we didn't know at the time was at the end of the Cold War with the Soviet Union, which is now called Russia. And we were taught in school that the Soviet Union people and the country are our enemies. So most of the history books that we had in school showed images, pictures of Soviet people as very nasty and mean and negative and grumpy and not very kind. Well, that's what I thought up until 1998, when in February of that year, 1998, my wife and I traveled to Russia and adopted our first two kids. Well, we found out very quickly over there that the Russian people are awesome people. They're really nice people. So we didn't really understand that until we were able to experience it. I changed my mind. I realized I was wrong. And as a result of visiting Russia at that time for the first time, it enlightened me. So I obviously changed my mind about the Russian people. I also remember hearing in school that Christopher Columbus was his goal. One of his goals was to prove that the Earth was not flat. Well, based on what I've read in the very recent past, that wasn't true at all. And how many of you were taught that Christopher Columbus was trying to prove that the Earth wasn't flat? And then if you fast forward a few hundred years, most of us were taught that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Well, he really didn't. He tweaked it. He marketed it. Master marketer. Stole some stuff. The point being that some of the stuff that you and I have been taught isn't very accurate. In fact, it's not true much of the time. So when your predetermined conclusion, maybe you've been taught some stuff, is decided before you invest time in researching the facts from various sources, some people tend to ignore the information that is counter to what they thought was true. I'm sure that's happened to you. Let me kind of explain that a little bit more. Sometimes we go through life and we only spot certain things that we agree with, and we ignore information that disagrees with what we think is true. So if you instead want to discover truth, no matter where the truth lands, meaning if it's something you thought was true or something you didn't think was true, and you invest the time researching information from all sources, your mind then is open to, as one movie said, to unlearn what you have learned. Again, to unlearn what you have learned. And this challenges your ego. This challenges my ego and challenges a lot of people's ego, because our identity sometimes is intermingled with what we consider truth. So the smart people know that they don't know everything about everything. So they're open to truth. They're open to other points of view. One of my favorite authors is Malcolm Gladwell. And he wrote, "Occasions when you change your mind should be cherished because they mean you're smarter than you were before." Again, Malcolm Gladwell. Occasions when you can change your mind should be cherished because they mean you're smarter than you were before. Coach John Wooden, if you've never heard him, amazing coach. He was a great coach for decades. He said, quote, "Surround yourself with people strong enough to change your mind." Again, surround yourself with people that are strong enough to change your mind. And then Orson Scott Card wrote one time, he says, "The only way to learn is by changing your mind." So your willingness to consider the fact that you might be wrong is really liberating. You might want to try it. There's more you can learn. There's tons more information out there that you can learn if you choose to be like a sponge, that you learn something all the time. If you do your own research on all topics, that maybe some information may not sound exactly right, instead of drinking the Kool-Aid, as they used to say, because that experience of learning new information is certainly eye-opening. Don't let your ego allow you to stay attached to information or truths or supposed facts because you don't want to be viewed as wrong. Be willing to change your mind. Be willing to turn around. Be willing to make a U-turn without being ashamed. Us guys sometimes have that problem. We don't want to be viewed as wrong. We don't want to be viewed as we made a mistake. One author said, asking questions is one of the most fundamental keys of learning. It is always better to ask a question than pretend you understand. So always, always, always ask questions. My name's John Carver. Thanks for watching.